3, 2. You would have done like that hand sign for like 1-0.
Oh, I've got the little action thing.
Oh yeah, thank you. Hey party people, welcome back. This is gonna be episode 6B. We've been plugging this pretty hard the last couple sessions, so if you are not already following us on social media, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we're on YouTube. Go follow us, go subscribe to us. If you want to come hang out with the rest of us, talk, get to know us, ask us questions, stuff like that, then come hang out at the Discord. The links for everything should be in the description below. Thank you for that, Jimmy. Following that, we also have a giveaway. So we're huge fans of Ghostfire Gaming's Grim Hollow setting, and we use their Grim Hollow setting for our campaign. And we would like to help get one of those books potentially in your hands. So we're doing a giveaway for one hardcover copy of that book, the Grim Hollow Campaign Guide. And it doesn't matter where you live. We'll ship it anywhere. Just make sure that you join the Discord so you can get the deets on that, and then enter in, and we'll probably be drawing the winner for that sometime soon after this episode goes live. I'm thinking the end of this month, I think, was the day that we decide for it. I don't remember for sure.
First week of August will be when it's announced.
Oh yeah, first week of August. Sounds good to me. Thank you. As always, we're going to get into the recap, and then we're going to talk about where we left off, what happened last episode, and then it's all players. Straight into the players. I might add a little bit of flair in there, a little bit of flavor, but other than that, it's going to be all players. So, Frixur, 32nd of Stivos, 301 YOD. 5 days before Darkreign. Perhaps from Castlelore they'd travel to Talstar directly, or they could board the ships once more and continue to sail the coast until they needed to travel up the river. They had those two options as far as they could tell. The clans each had their opinions of the outsiders, their new withered warriors. Whether they'd all followed these figures was yet to be seen, but it was clear that they were at least making ground on the subject. And the slaves too. They seemed to like the party, or at least those that the party had interacted with. It was tough getting from ship to ship to aid everyone while out on this rolling seas and crashing tides. Belfour, Lanya, and Sasha were the three slaves that were of note, the three that stood out the most. Ones that showed fighting spirit and qualities of leadership. Now they waited patiently in chains for the return of their would-be rescuers, if they'd return. Tamacti's faith brought a glimpse of what could be. Moriel himself, with all three faces and all three sets of wings. The mantle of a seraph once more could be Tamacti's. He was told he'd understand what to do when the time came. And while this event transpired, Kirill came forth to answer Rubin's prayers with a gift. The one he said he'd gone searching for. It was finally back within possession of Tormach's faithful. Starsinker itself. Light the fire, sink the stars, a voice said to Rubin. At the end of the many miles ahead, Castlelore awaited, and surely a few mysteries awaited within it if Vova's words bore any truth at all. And so we resume with you guys waking up on the morning of the 32nd of Stivos, Frixur. That morning, there was not only a greeting from Moriel to Tamacti, but there was also a Rubin skulked off and went behind one of the few sparse dead trees as all the other clans were packing up their belongings and packing their tents and getting ready to move. And he started to pray to Tormach, and Tormach's tabkeeper, Kirill, answered by pulling him down into the blood on the ground that had formed sort of that portal. And there, Rubin caught a glimpse of what that plane was like. Just as far as the eye could see, mountains of obsidian and ash and blood flowing down those mountains and rivers, and people flayed alive and demons skulking about.
Good guy stuff.
Yeah, good guy stuff. And you guys had spoken to one of the representatives of one of the clans who said that he was speaking to the other leaders and was sharing with them his thoughts, and they kind of shared their thoughts, and he got a good read on them, the ones that didn't share their thoughts. And it was determined that Rune and Mithra would be alongside you guys should something arise, and Morgong and Limgri were still kind of on the fence, with Seer and Vulgar as the two that were really someone that you might want to keep your eye out for. Watch your back and stuff like that. And so in going over to Limgri, Tamacti met Tabe, who is a male from Limgri that seems to have taken a liking to Tamacti. And over on the Morgong side, Rubin caught a glimpse of a figure with, you could see all of his details, like the cheekbones and the jawline and all that stuff. And he had like leathers on with a hood up, but all of his skin had this weird sort of like purple hue to it with specks that look like stars moving around. And it became clear that he was probably not human. What that means is, for you guys, is yet to be discovered, I suppose. Let's see. Following that, I think we are kind of all caught up. Gabriel is with the merchants whom are in the center of the 7 sort of groups that are there, kind of like the middle dividing line between like the more good side on the left versus the not so great side on the right. Did you guys have anything else that you want to add to that recap before we continue, other than Vasily was seen carving stuff into the outside of one of the ships that was very clearly not a joke and was very real, and Covert just seems to have thought that I was joking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Quick point of clarification on the recap. You said the slaves are weighted in chains, but if they were on Thorgrim's ships, presumably they aren't waiting in chains.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, true.
Right.
If they're on
Just
Thorgrim's
wanted to
ships,
make sure.
it was agreed upon that they would be unchained. That's right. Good call.
And Vasily is definitely carving something on the boat.
Yeah, that much is very true.
Should do something about that, Covert, because you're the only one that saw it.
It was also
that was like 18 hours ago.
For just to touch on this as well. That night, the previous night, when everyone was kind of gathered around the, or I say everyone, Tamacti was over like at Limgri.
It was me and Rubin.
And then like Rubin and Gabriel and Vova were there discussing kind of delicate matters, where Vova was like, hey, I don't know why, but I've got this feeling that the raid is not going to happen. Something just doesn't seem right. I can't place my thumb on it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to expect there, but something is just not right. And so both Gabriel and Rubin were looking around like over their shoulder and stuff like that. They didn't see anything that would worry them, and so they spoke about it. Who knows if somebody was out there that could have been spotted or not. But I just wanted to touch on that as well.
That means someone was definitely there.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
You better keep an eye out, Rubin.
Okay, so it's all you guys.
Well, who goes first? We're all separate, so.
I'd like to pick up on Rubin, actually, now that I think about it. Rubin, you were over there on the side with Vova, and you were praying, and Vova, when you kind of came back to the material plane, Vova was just like, what the hell just happened? And you pretty much, I don't remember exactly what it was that you said.
I think he said that we'd discuss this later, and
oh yeah,
and Rubin agreed. This is now, he just had opened the bag and began pulling the I guess flail chain weapon, Turmak's weapon that was gifted to him from the bag as the session ended.
Yeah, it's a bladed fighting chain with at the very end of it is a single sort of sphere, and that sphere has 4 spikes going out from each quote unquote like cardinal direction of it, that sort of hook downward slightly towards the chain, or towards the user. And then there's one point at the very end of it that sticks out as well, one more barb.
That is badass, and also sounds very dangerous.
Yeah.
And so Rubin stares at it for a good moment. He's never seen a weapon like this. Besides the actual design of the weapon, which is clearly unique, it doesn't appear to be having magical properties, like just visually, right?
Other than the fact that it feels warm, no.
Okay.
Like, I don't mean like burning hot, like you can't hold it. I mean
just warm.
It's unusually warm. Like, it's not whatever temperature is outside.
Okay. And not just like the natural heat of metal and sunlight kind of thing.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, given that everyone's beginning to pack up and move out, I don't think Rubin really has time to sit there and ponder over this weapon. So he coils it up into his hand and stands to his feet from behind this log and looks around, and seeing that no one, thankfully, else had been watching besides Vova, he starts to move back towards the grouping and towards the front, more so now paying attention to his weapon rather than those around him.
Still staying over there by Morgong, I assume, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
For the moment, at least, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so you're moving over there. What about, I want to come over to Gabriel. What's Gabriel doing? It's like first thing in the morning, I assume ritual.
Always. We have time. It's been finally like a night sleeping in like a camp, so a bit more comfortable here for Gabriel, not out at sea.
Yeah.
And I suppose in the morning we'll take some advance and probably I assume there's like not like a scouting group, but like a group that goes a bit ahead or whatever, probably like earlier than the majority of the pack. If not, I will go myself.
I was gonna say yesterday late in the day, you do know, or I suppose you wouldn't know this. Rubin would know this, that a scout did go up ahead. He came up and he said, "Hey,
oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm kind of, I've heard about your faith. I'm a little bit interested. We can talk about it another time, but for now,
right,
I need to go scout." And he went up ahead and began traveling forward.
Okay, if possible, I would like to embed myself with the scouting group of the middle, because this other guy, Vova, said that he had doubts about whether or not, like, this raid was even going to happen in the first place. So something might be off up ahead. So I'll try to go see if I can go forward.
Yeah. So are you like asking around then if
yes, who's the scouts for, like, if we have scouts in the middle, and if we do, I'll try to join them. And if they won't take me, that's fine, because I don't want to disturb their positions.
Yeah. We've got some exciting stuff planned for the session, so I'm going to say that we'll shorthand this. You probably do find a group that is going to be going out, probably like just one or two others that we're planning on scouting. I'd say one, so it's just you and one other.
Yeah, all right. Me and one guy sounds good.
Because like even though there are the 7 clans and they are putting aside their differences to do this raiding, at the end of the day, people just kind of care about themselves. So like each group may have like different individual scouting groups going out.
That is what I figured.
Okay, then you're packing up early, linking up with that guy, and moving on ahead.
Yes,
sounds
sir.
good. Covert. What about Tamacti?
So Tamacti's still sort of, I suppose, reeling would be the right word from his experience. But you can't reel for long on an empty stomach. So he's gonna go look for that chef that he didn't mean to, but unfortunately did in fact insult the night before, to see if maybe there's some breakfast serpent meat stew, maybe some serpent strips getting fried up in the cast iron skillet or something.
I'd say that. Once again, going to kind of shorthand this a little bit. You probably do come across that guy, and I'd say this is probably fair for every clan. They're all kind of doing their same thing. Like at nighttime, they cook, they set up camp, they rest. In the morning, they cook, they pack up, they leave.
And as I'm heading through sort of the camp on the way to this guy, am I getting any sort of reactions from people? I imagine that the appearance of an arch-seraph in camp, even if people weren't there to witness it, I imagine word spreads fast about occurrence.
Especially, I would say more so in Clan Limgree than any other clan here, because as we know, they're kind of the more religious sort of one. They focus more on the divines.
Yeah,
I think that it's fair to say, without a perception roll, that you catch a few glances coming your way. People like leaning over, whispering to each other, keeping their eyes on you for extended periods of time before looking away. That sort of stuff.
Does anyone approach me, or people kind of keep their distance? I'm trying to gauge the general reaction.
I think people are almost sort of jealous or intimidated appearing. Like it's kind of hard to read. You can make an insight if you really want to get a full feel for it, but at a glance and at a first thought, I would say those two things might pop into your mind. That they don't want to approach you because it's just like, he of all people, like this outsider got spoken to by the arch-seraph. Like, that's what the hell,
Okay. Yeah, I guess if no one makes a move to approach, I'll I'll just head on over to the head cook.
Mm-hmm. And Tabe is sitting around somewhere nearby there, eating at the time. The line passes one to the next, to the next, to the next, and before you know it, you're up in the line.
I nod to him. No hard feelings about last night, eh?
He like locks eyes with you, like dark, sort of grayish brown eyes, like really dull brown eyes, I should say. And he offers you like a full, just straight-mouthed expression, and for a second, you think that you catch like a smirk at the corner of one of his lips before he just like drops it, goes back to straight, flat expression, nods at you once, and hands you a bowl of soup.
Thank you. I nod to him and head over to sit by. I'll look around. Does it look like there's one fire that's maybe a little bit, or is this sort of a eat as you go thing, or like people taking a moment to sit down and eat before they pack up?
People are taking a moment to, like, they're either packed and now they're eating, or they're eating and then they're gonna pack.
Okay.
But people are taking a moment to sit down and appreciate the meal before they do that. And so you see there's maybe like 4 or 5 different campfires spread out, and like 7 or 8 people gathered around each one.
I look around for either the campfire that is the largest, or perhaps the one that is next to like the largest and most, I suppose, tricked out tent. The one that perhaps the leader of Clan Limgree would be sitting beside.
I would say that none of the fires are near the big tent, but
Okay.
I mean, that's not to say that they're all equidistant. One of them may be like 60 feet away, one of them might be like 30 feet away, and so you can approach one that is like 30 feet away.
Okay.
I'd say you probably wouldn't be able to like pick up on any conversation from it if that's what you're gonna try and do. But
No, I just wanted to sit down there.
got you. Okay.
I'll walk over to the one that is the closest. As you said, they're not all equidistant, and I'll Tamacti will plop down on, I suppose, a log or something set around the fire to rest his bones upon, and he'll just start kind of eating while we just listen to the conversation that's taking place, if any is.
There is some conversation going on, but it's like quiet, sort of. I suppose not really conversation, just commenting on like, I don't want to walk, or oh man, I can't wait to see what's in Castle, or like I told my wife I'd return north, blah blah blah, with this and that, that sort of stuff. Just like small chatter, like raider chatter.
I see.
Wife's about to be disappointed, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Nothing else for me then. I'll just sit and eat my serpent stew quietly, and then I suppose go and pack up my loaned tent.
At which point you witness somebody kind of like hurriedly stepping into the big tent. Like they're alone, and they're walking from kind of like a beeline from the next clan over from Limgree, which would be Mithra. Somebody is coming from Mithra, making a beeline for this big tent in Limgree, and like just kind of walks right in past the 2 guards that are there outside of it and into the tent.
Okay.
They're wearing not attire that you've seen from Limgree, like brown, other dark colors, and like dark gray sort of wolf pelt over their left shoulder and over to their right shoulder, where like the head of the wolf pelt is on their right shoulder. Buckled boots with like a steel kind of lining on the bottom of them. I don't know. They look like they could be semi-important, if nothing else. But if you don't interact with that, then we move on.
And sorry, what are they
evil.
doing again?
They're evil. Check it out.
Are they trying to? Is it like they're trying to conceal their actions or anything, or they're just sort of openly like walking?
They're like openly just like going for it.
And going for where again? Sorry.
The big decorative tent, the one that you were kind of like trying to sit near.
Okay, I'll get up and walk over.
Okay. As you approach, the 2 guards stop you.
Gentlemen, if they're both guys, if not, I won't say that because I don't want to piss off an angry shield maiden.
One's a shield maiden, the other one's a male guard, and he says, "State your business."
I was wondering if I might have words with the leader of Clan Limgree before we set out.
They kind of exchange a glance. They're indisposed right now, a bit busy.
Tamacti would cross his arms. I can wait.
Then step back 5 feet if you don't mind. not so close.
And as he steps back, he's going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Out loud enough for them to hear, just like under your breath?
Just under his breath.
Okay. 5 minutes pass. 6, 8 minutes pass, and finally the tent flaps whoosh open, and this figure steps striding out, making his way back towards Mithra in like a beeline, just not jogging or anything like that, just like walking with purpose, definitely. And if you were to glance at his face, you would see it's just kind of like your average Northman, pale, sort of short cropped, brownish black hair, like just really dark color. It's probably black when it's wet. It's dark brown when it's dry.
I commit his face to memory.
Got it. Okay. And the guards open the tent flap and allow you to step in after like glancing into seeing that the kind of head figure doesn't mind anyone entering.
Okay. I nod to them as I pass. Thank you.
They nod back, and the flaps close behind you.
All right. What do I see before me?
You see in this tent, there's a table with 2 sort of small candles on it. Small is maybe an understatement. Like, they're cylindrical, and they're about 6 inches tall, 3 inches wide. So, sort of large, but small still. And they're on this this table on each side of a map that is sprawled out across this table, and they're past that. There's another set of flaps that lead to a further kind of room of the tent where it's likely that there's a bed for this figure to sleep in, or a sleeping roll, whatever they're sleeping on. But you can't see past those flaps. And the figure is standing there at the opposite side of the table from you, with a kind of goblet of wine, and it's decorated in your typical goblet of wine kind of fashion, where it's got a couple gems on it. It's got sort of gold or brass sort of hue to it in the candlelight. And this figure is dressed in like a dark gray, sort of off-white robe and dark black boots with fur lining on the inside. They stand about 6 feet tall, and their hair's sort of a mess, like going off in all directions, maybe about 5 or 6 inches long of graying hair. And they have crow's feet at the corners of their eyes. They just have dark circles under their eyes, pale complexion, very tired looking. And dangling around their neck on the outside of this robe is a symbol of a god that you have not heard of or seen anything on in a really long time. In fact, I would say you're a religious figure. Make a religion check for me if you don't mind.
Yeah, I could do that. Don't fail me now. 12.
Okay. I would say that the symbol, it does mean something to you. You recognize it as the predecessor of Gabriel, the Archseraph of Truth, but you can't quite remember what the name was of that god, like long gone god.
Now I'm trying to remember myself.
Do you need something?
Yes. Firstly, well met. I sort of nod to him.
He nods back and echoes your words. Well met.
I wanted to make my intentions to travel with your clan plainly known to you. I assume that by now you are aware that I am here, and if you had any objections, you would have voiced them. However, I wanted to speak to you face to face.
Well, we are face to face. So what would you speak to me of?
I assume you have been made aware of the events of this morning concerning myself.
I've been made aware of a few events outside of that as well, but yes.
I sort of give him a quizzical look to see if he's going to elaborate.
He doesn't.
Do you know who it was that visited me?
Well, it was a golden figure. 3 faces, 3 sets of wings. Fits the description of Moriel.
You would be correct. Moriel, as I am sure you are no doubt aware, is the Archsheriff of Compassion, among other things, which, well, I should not have to say is somewhat antithetical to the way certain things, certain practices the North folk have partaken and for generations, for eons even.
Yes, and Moriel is also the Archseraph of sacrifice, and those people make sacrifices for the good of the North.
Moriel is the seraph of, I believe, self-sacrifice. I believe if you are to give any of your slaves the choice of being shackled or unshackled, you would be hard-pressed to find those that wish to remain in bondage. All I ask is that you consider the examples that two of your fellow clans are setting. They are not, shall we say, leaving their slaves to their own devices, but they are treating them with compassion.
This is what you came here for. To enter my tent, travel with my people, so that you may lecture me on the history of our clan. Is this correct?
I do not seek to lecture you on history. I do not seek to lecture you at all. I wish to observe the proceedings of this raid with the clan that I find most aligns itself with my beliefs and viewpoints, and perhaps, given time, have a dialogue, an open conversation with you about the future. The past is the past. One cannot change that. At least not yet. But the future is an open book yet to be written. I find that as intriguing as I'm sure you do.
He has a quizzical expression on his face for a moment. Go on.
If you will allow me, I would like to be at the vanguard of your raiding force when we approach Talistar. After that...
When we approach Telstar, you say. And when will we do that exactly?
Shit. I meant to say,
Castleor?
yeah, sorry.
We can recon that. Yeah, go ahead. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
When we approach Castleor, there will be a vineyard to the northeast outside of this city. We first have to check that, and we will be sending a small scouting party to do it. If you so wish to have your name on that list, then you're welcome to it. I won't stop you from getting killed.
Will your prisoners be among the scouting party?
They will not, because they won't be quiet.
Very well.
Is that all that you have for me?
I have but one more question. It was rather rude of me and short-sighted not to introduce myself and to request your name as well. I typically do not like to do business with those that are unnamed to me. I am Tamacti Morel.
It's nice to meet you, Tamacti. I am Tanner Briston.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Tanner. I hope that we may talk further. Not right now, of course. I'm sure you have much to prepare.
Yeah, he goes back to looking at the map, nods a couple times. You could say that.
Then I shall see you in the coming days. Goodbye.
He doesn't offer you anything else and just is kind of brings a thumb and an index finger up to the bridge of his nose as he's looking down at the map and just kind of pinches the connector there.
I will walk out.
Okay. You walk out. Then I suppose, do you do anything else before everyone starts heading out?
I'll go pack up my tent and then head out.
Okay. Back over to Rubin then.
Yeah, Rubin probably moved to the front. I'm not sure if all the clans are moving yet.
They're about to be.
Okay, they're about to be. He's probably again at the front, a good, 30 paces or so from wherever the nearest man was, and now sort of just standing there while he waited, and he's covering up his wrist with with his armor, again, his chainmail, like pulling it up to his hand, and staring at this weapon and starting to go about trying to figure out how he's gonna carry this, besides just simply holding it in his hand at all times. And so starts fixing it, tying it around him like he had the other one. Now absolutely covered in chains for the moment.
Yeah. Vova standing next to you as you're making your way towards the front of the group, and once you make your way to the front of the group and you're kind of like a short distance away from prying ears, he starts to speak to you. Are you going to tell me about that thing? What happened?
I was contacted by a servant, but I didn't expect to see what I saw on the other side.
And what was it? Does it trouble you?
And he turns and looks back just to make sure there's no one like openly looking at him or staring at him, and assuming that's not the case.
There's
turns
a
back
figure,
towards-
actually, maybe about 80 feet away from you. It's that same sort of figure with the purplish aesthetic. You may not know what these are in character, but out of character, to make it easy to refer to this figure, they're disembodied.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what this figure looks like, except you can only see their face. The rest of it's like all in robes and leathers.
Okay. I gotcha.
And he's like kind of looking in your general direction from about 80 feet away. You don't know whether or not he's staring at you specifically.
Yeah, that could be hard to tell.
Yeah.
Would I be able to roll a...
Perception? Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, a 4, a nat 1. I would say you can't tell. You're like squinting for a moment. You probably hold your gaze on him a little bit longer than you should have. Like if he were looking at you, then he would probably get the idea that he understands that you.
Clear.
Yeah, it's like, okay, this guy's staring back at me now. But yeah, you can't tell whether or not he's looking directly at you.
And so during that point, there'd be a sort of prolonged silence from Rubin after Vova asked his question, and he stared down this disembodied, and then turned back to him.
A subject's wills and wishes are not always the same as his king's, I suppose.
That's what you have to say about that.
And
I asked if it troubled you.
yes, it did.
Do you feel as if it bends your faith at all?
These are not questions I want to answer at this moment.
Right. And that thing that you have, what is it?
A weapon, certainly. An artifact, I assume. A gift. I'm not entirely sure what it does, but
Do I know its name? Did I can't remember. Did Kirill ever mention its name?
I think Kirill mentioned the name of it, yeah. Starsinker.
Okay.
I know it has a name. Starsinker.
And Kirill also mentioned, and then you heard it echoed again when you actually held the weapon, light the fire, sink the stars.
Yeah.
But
I think I have written that down. Yes, I have. And he sort of mutters that phrase under his breath, not really meant for
yeah,
Vova,
but he could probably hear it.
Do you know what it's capable of?
I don't, but I assume I will find out soon enough.
From an unholy power, I fear when we find out.
And he sucks in a breath, a deep breath. Bit frustrated in a way, and lets it out. Yes, perhaps. But there's nothing to be done about it right now.
A shout goes up from somebody the next clan over, or 2 clans down, and then you hear another shout from the next clan over, and then somebody shouts from the clan that you're near, Morgon, and people begin to start wandering towards the south by southwest in journey further towards Castelor.
And Rubin starts to look around at first at the shots, probably thinking that it's some sort of echo that they're being attacked, and then realize quickly it's simply that they're moving on.
Yeah.
And he turns back to begin marching, but carries on a little bit of the conversation with Vova, because I don't quite remember if I asked him before, but
there's a man amongst his clan. I think he's a man. His appearance is that of Stars. Have you seen him?
I have, yes. Only glances. I try not to pay much attention to it.
Know what it is?
I don't know. No.
And you've never heard of anything like that in where's he from again? What's that place called?
The Ravencourt.
Yeah, Ravencourt Sanctuary.
I suppose I'll have to ask them some point soon.
Right. Well, best of luck with that.
You don't think that's a good idea?
He draws in like a slow, steady breath, turning his eyes towards like where everyone is walking that direction. and lets it out slowly through his nose. I think that many things are bad ideas, but that doesn't stop people from doing them.
And he nods. That's fair enough. Well, I'm sure it's a question that gets asked a lot. Someone has to know around here.
Fast forward to about 5 or 6 hours into Gabriel's scouting.
Ooh.
And mind you guys, it's dark. Like, it's still
It's always
Astoria.
dark.
Everything is dark, all the time dark. And
Love
so these scouts aren't using torches. They don't want to broadcast themselves to whatever sort of forward watch positions there are, or whatever outside in the country, like houses and homes there are. And the person that you're with is much like the figure that had gone into the Limgree, like, decorated tent, clad in black and brown leathers with dark furs and stuff like that. Very sort of spy-esque aesthetic.
Makes sense. If it's allowed, then I will probably have a borrowed, like, just a big brown cloak from someone. Probably better than my either white cloak or my shining, like, fucking red and gold armor.
Yeah, I mean, if you couldn't have gotten one from somebody in the clan, which you're kind of buddy, but like,
I'm friends with pretty much everyone that I'm
yeah.
at least, like, good acquaintances with most.
Yeah. So I would say, you were probably able to get one. Actually,
Sounds good.
Pretty easily.
And I will be following the guy that I'm with because he obviously knows how to do this better than I do. So.
Yeah, and you might even have a thought for a moment, like, how's this guy seeing so well in this, like, pitch black?
Yeah, I'm just following him, like, damn. Because, he's not, like, from Astoria. Like, I assume most Asturian people can see fairly well in the dark because that's literally all they know. But
yeah,
not that we were on a boat that's, like, in sunlight for most of the time before coming here, so.
Yeah, also, it's not in the hashtag NPC spotlights yet, and it might be by the time that this episode releases, but I made some Thorgrim pixel art.
Oh, finally.
For D&D General 2B, check it out.
Yo. Is that The Witcher?
Yeah, for real. Looking nice.
Thorgrim looks like more of a badass than I thought he did.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Well, he's a merchant, so, like, they can afford to get, like, kind of decorative.
Like, dripped out. Yeah, you got cash flow.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say after a few hours of traveling in this darkness without a torch, your eyes are adjusting to it. I'm going to give you, we'll say, like 30 feet of dark vision.
Sounds cool.
Or, yeah, dark vision. And so everything's kind of like shades of grays and whites and blacks and stuff like that. And you are sort of trudging along, and all of a sudden he puts his hand out and kind of
stop.
Back of his hand against your chest, and you stop. There's a watchtower up ahead.
I look up ahead. I assume I can't really see it.
You can barely see, like, the black
like
silhouette
the
of it.
skylining, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you see so well in the dark? Question for later, I suppose.
I can see as much as you can.
I'm like squinting, and
yeah, he's squinting too.
In my head, I'm like, "You sure about it?" But I don't pursue this further. All right, what should we do? Report it or go around?
We'll go around, and we'll approach it from the back. If there's someone there, our job is to dispose of them.
I nod, and I tap him on the shoulder, like, let him know that I'm ready to follow.
Mm-hmm. And he, like, never letting his gaze off of this tower, stands sort of lowered a little bit so that he can, like, absorb his steps into the ground. Starts moving around the right side of this tower. There's maybe 100 feet away from you.
Okay.
And you guys are kind of at an advantage, like, where somebody up in a tower would not be able to see your silhouettes because you're down on the ground. There's nothing to skyline.
Exactly. And I'll be following him, and while he seems focused on watching the tower, I will focus on watching, like, around us,
Yeah.
Making sure there's no one else, because, he seems like he's getting a bit tunnel vision on that tower. That's always dangerous.
Mm-hmm. And so he starts to make his way around. I'm going to make a stealth roll. I need you to make one as well.
Sure thing. Stealth.
Okay. You're moving along, and you hear kind of like his foot sink into a mucky puddle, and it makes a very sharp sort of sloshing sound. And for a moment you think, like, oh shit, but nothing happens at the guard tower. And he looks back at you, and then looks back at the tower, and just slowly pulls his foot out of this mud and continues making his way, flanking around the tower.
I'm doing, like, the grimacing emoji face. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, I follow suit, making sure not to step in that puddle he just did.
And once you get around the tower, he begins to approach it from like kind of a diagonal backside angle of it. And you see it's like a single tall wooden tower with like this is a very stereotypical one where it's like 4 sort of pillars and then like the little hut at the top. And normally there would be like a torch up there or something.
But there's nothing.
But there's not.
Huh.
And there's a ladder on the backside. And he makes his way like 10 feet from the base of the ladder and is looking up at it.
I look up as I'm with him, and I do like a little like I shake my head no as I look up to the ladder, like don't climb it, and I will summon my echo, who can climb the thing silently, like don't make any noise. So I will use the echo to climb the ladder and go see what's up.
And he like nods to you, watching this happen, and your echo like shimmers just a little bit as it's making its way up, and you can see through your echo's eyes, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I can know what's in front of it. Like I can completely take its place, or I can like see through its eyes, but that's like a whole other thing. But I can like sort of know what's in its vicinity. But when it's up, I'll just shift place with it. Like it's just to climb silently.
Yeah, got you. You make your way up there, and you get up there then, and there's nothing in the tower.
Okay. Like not even signs of like a guard was here recently, like recently burned torchlight, a weapon left behind, like nothing?
None of it.
Okay. I kind of peek my head from the ladder and I just shake my head. Nothing. And I start climbing down. Not a single thing. Not even a weapon or an old torch.
Right, come down. We'll keep moving.
I nod and I just, summon my echo and shift back, teleport down essentially.
Once you're down, you see him kind of like thinking for a moment, eyes sort of darting around as he's like trying to process like why would there not be someone here, and he just nods a couple times to himself. And
how many times have you raided this place before?
Me personally, just once, enough to learn where the guard positions were on the way there and memorize them.
And I assume normally they are not empty.
No, they're not.
Should we carry on or report this? Well, either way, I suppose this is good for us.
We'll keep going for now.
I nod. After you.
He kind of like looks right and looks left, kind of like taking an extended moment to look in each direction, make sure he's not missing anything, and starts to move forward, keeping us like semi-low stance, and keeping one hand on like the hilt of a long sword at his side, and continues moving on.
I will follow him, watching our sides and our back.
Okay. And I would like to know, is there anything that Waffle or Covert would have done, or their characters, I should say, on the way, let's say for the next, 6 hours?
Just, I don't know, I guess get to know Tabe a little bit better.
Oh, okay, we can do that, actually.
Rubin, perhaps, he might have dropped back to try and speak to this disembodied person.
Okay. Then we'll start with the tape conversation. Kick us off.
So, Tabe.
He looks at you.
Why don't you tell me a little bit more about yourself, huh?
A bit more about myself, like what? I've always been in the north. Not much happens there. It snows. It freezes over. The lakes are always cold. We fish for anything we can eat underneath the waters. We travel up and down the mountains to find things to forage. We hunt. Life is simple in the north.
You are primarily a warrior, or do you have some other skill set as well?
I am far from a warrior. I would like to see that there's none of this raiding, but it is what it is. Following Aphelion and all, I want the peace amongst our people, and
yes, we
those in our way.
We had some of this conversation, I believe, last night.
We did.
So what is it, if you don't mind me asking, that you do, I suppose, for the clan?
I am the one that people come to when they are conflicted. They have arguments in their heads, and they are ashamed of things that they've done, or there are disputes between people within the Limgri clan.
You're a mediator of sorts?
Of sorts, yes.
Is this something that your lineage has done? Or is this something uniquely yours?
I'm the first of my line to do it, but hopefully not the last. I'd like to one day instill the same morals upon my children.
Do you have any children?
Not yet.
What about the special someone back at home waiting for a few trinkets and bubbles?
There is someone, but I try not to think about it too much. I need to focus on the days ahead.
Sure, I can understand that.
What of you? Anyone?
No. No. There was little time for... I had little time for such things, I should say. One could always make time if they wanted to, but I did not.
Would you like to? Would you hope to? One day?
I don't know, Tabe. I feel that I am on borrowed time already, if it makes sense. I am older than even possibly your great-grandfather would be if he was still alive. It somehow seems unfair for me to reap the rewards and benefits of a younger man. Feels almost like stealing, I suppose.
I wouldn't think it is one. You are still living and are welcome to the pleasures of life, the ripe fruit.
I find my pleasures in other ways these days. But perhaps one must never rule anything out, right?
And as for Moriel, what did Moriel tell you?
I spent the last few days and weeks praying for guidance, I guess. I'm not sure. At least hoping that Moriel would watch over, if not me, then perhaps the ones I am trying to help. And when Moriel appeared, they asked if the things I was praying for and asking for were really what I felt in my heart. When I said that they were, they asked if I was ready. I believe that I am, but Moriel requires further proof. I'm sure that when we approach Castelor, there will be plenty of opportunities to provide that kind of proof that he requires.
I hope not.
As do I. Tabe, I have seen a lifetime's worth of bloodshed, and I do not cherish it or relish it. Truth be told, I try and avoid it when at all possible, but I will do what is required.
Right. I suppose we all will.
It is what we must do.
And Tamacti would nod to him.
If there was anything that you could change in all your years, what would it be? Or would you change nothing?
Truthfully, Tabe, I try not to reflect upon my years of life, looking back at what I could have done differently. I more try and look upon them as the experiences I have earned and the knowledge I have gained from those experiences. One could spend a lifetime pondering every choice and where it might have led if they'd gone down a different branch in the road of life, but all that will make you as a bitter old man. I am here now, and that is what matters.
He nods a couple times. I suppose that it is what matters now. Whether it matters next week, or the month after that, or the next year, well, I suppose we'll see.
Indeed we shall.
And then the camera zooms out, right? Comes on over to Rubin.
Pants
Rubin,
across
you're,
the whole line.
Yeah, just like zips down the whole line. You see like everyone moving forward, just kind of staggered out, like no real organization to it, like clumps of people and like peppered around and stuff like that. And just this really long row, or column. No, yeah, row. Row is the right word for it. And we come over to Rubin.
And by this point, Rubin looks back over his shoulder again. It's probably been a few hours since they started moving. I'm not sure how many. It's before that 6-hour mark, but he looks back to see if he can still spot this disembodied figure.
Make a perception.
Among the crowd. Okay. A 7.
A 7? I don't think you see them.
Well, that kind of defeats the purpose of what I was gonna do.
Yeah.
So Rubin doesn't
Man, this
do
dude
anything,
Rubin's
man.
a loser.
He's gonna stay at the front. I mean, if he can't see who the fuck he's trying to talk to,
Get a load of this guy.
what's like? What are we walking towards? Is this like an open field? Like,
It's
where
like
are
fields. It's pretty much fields and muck and murk and other M words that are similar. Like if you look on the map, you see how it's
we? Yeah, I see that.
just like
It's
real
very
shitty
open.
ground, very open, and you can see like where the dead trees are. Like
It's like
just-
wetlands kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's very wetlands. That's a good way to put it.
Okay, man, that's unfortunate. I guess Rubin's still just sitting at the forefront of this
Hmm.
this line of clans in front of Morgung. Given you can't see the guy he wanted to talk to, so
At which point, everyone slowly starts to pass by that watchtower that Gabriel came across before that was empty.
and we all see the watchtower.
It's dark, but there are torches amongst all the people, so I'd say yeah. And a couple of guys like quickly climb up it, come back down. You hear a shout like that no one is there, and it's clear. And word starts to spread, and like people are keeping their voices low when they spread it. It's just like that one shout was the only one that really kind of could have drawn attention from anyone outside of this staggering sort of group. But yeah, word starts to spread that this watchtower is empty, and all of a sudden now you know, and Tamacti knows that this watchtower is empty. It could be assumed that the forward scout took care of anyone that was there and hid the body, or whatever, so people aren't super worked up about it. And we don't metagame here, but Gabriel knows.
Tough.
And then I'd say 3-4 more hours of moving. Gabriel, you come up to a vineyard along with the man that is with you. Did you maybe talk to them at all during your traveling with them?
If he allows me to, because like I've been keeping quiet, assuming that like our job is to shut the fuck up, to put it in a good term. So if he allows me to talk, like yeah, we'll chat, like get to know this guy. What's his name first? That'd be a pretty good start.
He goes by Weasel. Is what
Weasel.
He says.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'd say try to make conversation with him whenever possible. Like when it's obvious that we're literally in the middle of a field and there's like no one for like miles, either front, back, or left or right. But when we approach anything important, like shut up, because someone could hear us.
Okay, and he kind of gets to know you a little bit, I guess, along the way. Make a perception for me, please. Your passive is what, 15?
Yes, sir.
I'll just roll something actually.
Okay.
Because
Yeah, because I'm not actively looking, so.
okay, nothing happens. You don't notice anything.
Oh, okay.
He, keeps moving along and stops about 150 feet from this vineyard. There are lights, like torches and sconces and stuff like that.
Good sign.
This is it. This is where we're supposed to wait for the others, and then there will be a forward team into the this vineyard. Last time we raided here years ago, it was populated, and it looks like some of the damage is still there. They haven't fixed it entirely yet. We can double back, meet up with the rest of my people, and organize a group.
If you want, I can stay here, keep an eye on this vineyard.
If you're comfortable with it, that could be good.
I nod. I can take care of myself, and if there are too many, well, I can run quickly.
Okay. Then he like gives you kind of like a pat on the shoulder once, like not really like a slap or anything.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like rests his hand on your shoulder, like all right, you got it, and then heads off, going back the way that you guys came.
Yeah, give him a wave off, and I'll keep an eye on the vineyard while he walks away. Because I'm trying to dig into this uneasy feeling that Vova had. So if I can be alone here for a little while, I'll check it out with my echo, of course.
Oh.
So I will sit down on the ground. Like if there's a bush near me, like I will sit as much as possible in the bush as I can.
There's probably like dead brush, sort of. Yeah.
Sounds good. I will do that. Because when I'm in that mode, I will be unresponsive. I can't see or hear anything. So I will transfer myself in my echo, and with this, I can move pretty much like 1,000 feet in any direction. So we'll go towards the vineyard.
Okay. So then, before we get to that, and we will get to that, I want to come over to this other scout. Weasel makes it back like the half mile that he would need to link back up with the rest of or I'd say a full mile, to link back up with the rest of the traveling raiders, and the whole line comes to a halt after like people are kind of keeping their voices semi-low, but they're still shouting enough for everyone to hear over them, like halt, stop, hold, stuff like that, and everyone kind of like slowly comes to a hold and sits down and kneels down. It's just like getting a moment to rest, and all the leaders sort of come together at the merchants where Weasel is speaking, and they're all kind of like huddled around. Does Rubin
Rubin would approach as well
Yeah,
once
I'll
he
go over
sees
there.
once he sees the important figures starting to converge.
Hey, important people meeting. That's up.
Yeah.
Okay, so Rubin goes along, Tamacti goes along, Vova probably goes along with Rubin, and they're having this meeting where they're discussing, okay, we're at this point. It won't be far now from Castlor, but first we should check this place, see if there's anything that we can get from it. And that's when Weasel brings up that guard post that you guys encountered was abandoned when he and Gabriel had made their way to it. They didn't clear it out themselves. It was empty before they even got there. And that's when the leaders of these clans kind of, oh shit, collectively just mumble stuff. All right, then what do you want to do then, the rest of you? And that's like Thorgrim talking as he's like eyeing between these leaders. And they're all kind of fitting of the aesthetic. I'll let you visualize it for yourselves and kind of come up with your own representations in your heads. But they're all kind of visual representations of what their clans stand for. So like Morgong's leader is very spy looking. Limgree's leader is very, very divine, sort of worship looking, et cetera, across all of them. And that's when one of the leaders, specifically Seer and Rune, sort of chime in at the same time, or around the same time, echoing each other, saying like, we go along with the plan, we send in scouts, we check it, make sure it's clear, get whatever we can from it, and we keep moving. We don't stop for too long. And so Thorgrim looks between to Volgar's leader and Morgong's leader and Mithra's leader and Limgree's leader, and slowly, one at a time, they begin to nod agreement. Like, yeah, Rune and Seer are right. We came all this way. This doesn't stop us. It may be a little bit unusual, but we're still raiding, and we're going to be there. And so then Thorgrim asks for volunteers. And anyone have any specific individuals that they'd like to send on this? We're not sending your prisoners, Limgree.
Tamacti steps forward.
And Rubin steps with him.
I'm not surprised by these two. As head of the merchants, I would recommend these two. And Limgree's leader kind of like pipes up that Tamacti had already brought his name forth, and so he shrugs, and like he said, if you want to die, then that's on you. That's what he kind of said before. And Rune and Mithra being more diplomatic, and Rune being more adept with magic. They're not really like kind of. Like maybe Rune would suggest somebody, but with current circumstances and like the circumstances out on the water where the ships were being attacked and stuff like that, they want to hold on to their mages until the actual raid happens. So they don't want to risk losing any of them to any mishaps that could go on in this place. And so they kind of voice that. And Seer and Volgar are not really keen on that sort of spy infiltrator stuff, because Seer is focused on expanding their economy, and Volgar is really just loyal to the prismatic druids, so they're kind of selfish. And Morgong speaks up. I have one that I could send. He could be of use to them out there. And materializing next to him, like out of thin air basically, is that disembodied figure. And he just slowly brings his eyes over to Rubin.
And Rubin's already staring at him. By that point, as soon as the things start materializing, he now understands why he couldn't find him earlier.
Yeah, it's like he came out of another plane of existence entirely, as he just appears there. Then it's settled. We'll send your agent, Morgong, and we'll send Rubin, and Gabriel is probably willing to go as well, and we'll send Tamacti. Weasel. Gabriel is still out there, correct? And Weasel nods a couple times. Good. Then, you few get moving now. He looks between you two for confirmation.
Nod, then start moving.
And Vova goes along too. So it's now Vova, Rubin, Tamacti, this disembodied figure, and Gabriel will be going in. And you guys kind of link
The
up.
Suicide Squad.
On your way to Gabriel is doing a bit of forward scouting. So here, we're going to take
Don't do it to me.
a 10-15 minute break.
Oh my god.
This is where the session ends.
And you guys are going to start up your tail spire while we're on this break.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whip up your tail spires.
I see you. I see you.
All right, we're back. So we are on Tailspire, which means that you viewers are going to get some encounter images alongside this this kind of little shindig we got going on.
On the Discord, check it out. Join it.
Yeah, join the Discord, check out those images. You'll also see them on Twitter and maybe even on Instagram. I don't know. We've been considering posting those on Instagram as well. That being said, we resume with... it's going to be a bit until Rubin and Tamacti and the other two are there, kind of within range of the vineyard. But for now, Gabriel, whom is somewhere off the map, is scouting around with his echo. And so you see that I'd say this map is it's an accurate representation of the actual vineyard itself. And like I said, it's been rated, or one of the other characters said this, it's been rated before, so there's a little bit of damage. Stuff is like falling apart a little bit in certain spots. But whatever.
All right.
So go ahead and do what you do. If you could just narrate everything that you're doing in detail for the.
Sure thing. I will move up along the dirt path leading to the vineyard. And do I see anyone on the ramparts up ahead, or like through this little gate thingy?
So little bit of detail, I guess, for the listener. The vineyard, we were joking around about it beforehand. It looks very fort-esque, very defended or defendable. It's got like stone structures and watchtowers and like sort of ramparts, basically. The map was made by the very talented Istalri Astra. I hope I pronounced his name right. You can check out his work on Tales Tavern. We at TSPPOD absolutely love his work, and we have used them before, and we'll most definitely use them again in the future. Winky Face.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, looking around, make a perception. It's dark, so it's a little bit hard for you to see, but you can make a perception, Gabriel, and let me know what you get on that.
15.
A 15. You do not see anyone on the ramparts, and you do not see anyone through that like grate there. However, you do see there's a skeleton, or like a half sort of eaten skeleton of a rotting body there to the left of that front door, next to a little tree just off the path, sticking halfway out of the ground in the dirt.
Okay. I will attempt to remain stealthy, though it shouldn't be too hard in like a semi-translucent echo that makes no noise at all. But I will try to remain stealthy and move towards that body just to check how fresh or non-fresh it is.
Do me a favor then, actually. Could you please roll me a stealth at advantage?
Yes, sir.
Advantage, and then we're just going to use that as your roll for the rest of this.
20.
Okay, cool. 20 is the number you're going to have for the rest of this.
Sounds
kind
good.
of scouting. I'm going to rule that when the others arrive, they probably like find you and maybe tap you on the shoulder or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I can still feel touch on my original body. I just can't hear or see anything.
Yeah, so they'll probably find you and tap your shoulder or something. So I'll just kind of point that out when we get to that point. But for now, yeah, you're scouting around. You're doing what? Sorry.
I'm checking the decaying body on the left, see how old it looks, like how long it's been there, because the guy did mention they raided here like a couple of years ago, so like I'm checking to see if that body is still from there or more recent.
It's still being bothered by flies, and it's still got flesh on it. It's in a spot in the open where like if creatures of the night or like
they could just come
canines,
chomp on
they could just come and chomp on it. So the
Yeah.
fact that it's not entirely rid of flesh and muscle is probably an
recent.
indicator that it's recent. Yeah.
Got it. There's a window on the top left of where the wooden gate is. I'm going to attempt to climb the bricks there. They look like, bricks that are popping out of the wall, so fairly easy to climb, especially considering that I weigh nothing. So I'm going to try to hoist myself up that window.
Okay. Yeah, I'd say you're probably able to do that. Let me do that. This is actually super interesting that you chose to go that way, of all possible directions.
Uh-oh. That's
So
really good or really bad?
You make your way into the room, and you're very quiet about it. whatever is in this room with you has not yet noticed, but it is very apparent that there is somebody just kind of like huddled up on the ground, sort of like rocking back and forth, hugging onto their knees.
Got it.
And you find yourself in this room. There's like a small candle that's still lit, that probably indicated to you that this window was even an option. And there's some crates there stacked up. There's a bed with a diary open on it. There's a chest, another smaller bed.
I can't physically pick up stuff, I think. So I will just, like, is the diary... You said it was open on the bed, right?
Yeah, it is open.
Okay. I'm going to, like, lean over and just read what's available to me.
Okay. And it says something along the lines of, like, please, if you find this, I'm not sure what happened, but everyone's gone mad. And I can't escape. I'm running out of food. I'm going to go look for some around the facility.
Got it. And kind of leave the diary be. And the creature that seems to be lurching in the corner.
It looks a lot like a normal person currently.
Got it. So just like a man, like in a fetal position, kind of rocking back and forth, I guess.
Yeah. In the light here, it's probably easier to see, like, 'cause there's some candlelight. You do see that, like, you can see their left, like the bones of their left arm. Like, there's skin missing all the way down to those bones, and like on the back of their neck, there's like you can see the base of their skull and their spine, like where skin is missing there.
And he's
too.
Obviously still alive because he's moving.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna count this one guy as like an undead at this point, and I'm gonna. Would he see me if I passed like on the bed, essentially went around?
Kind of looking down a little bit, I'd make a roll on it personally on my end.
Sure.
So it's up to you whether or not you want to weigh that.
Unless if you want to rule it as I go against my roll against his passive perception, unless he's actively looking for me.
He's not currently actively looking for you, so it would be, I guess it would be his passive perception.
Yeah, against my stealth roll.
So you're taking that gamble? Okay.
Yeah. I will assume that this guy's kind of lost his mind, so he's not particularly paying attention to what's going on around him. At least he doesn't look like it, so I'll just take the gamble.
Yeah, you quietly move up around the bed next to it, and over towards the sort of flaps here.
I'm too fat to fit through the door on this. Let me move around.
I'm gonna just go ahead and remove that.
Thank you.
But yeah, there's like a little bag there that's open and pretty much empty of contents. Like some of it's spilled out on the ground, like empty food package rations and stuff like that, spent water skins. And you find yourself, wandering around this second floor now, where there's another door. So you come to like an L-shaped corridor in the hallway. There's another door on your right. There's a ladder that looks like it leads up to the left, and then there's some stairs ahead of you that go down.
Okay. Is the door open?
It is closed.
Don't think that I can. I'm not. It doesn't specify. So I'll leave it up to you if I can interact with things like doors, like open them or whatever. If I can't, fair enough. I'll keep moving down.
In the past, your echo helped to like lift someone up over an edge, I think.
That is true, but that's when I was like closer to it, so I could sort of manifest myself through it. In this feature, it specifically says that I can see and hear through like the echo. So I don't know if it has like any sort of physicality to it, because I don't think I can attack with it in this. It doesn't say again, so I'm not sure.
I'm gonna say I think that it's really just a spy mode, kind of,
That's
so,
also what I'm figuring, yeah.
Yeah.
So down the stairs we go then.
All right. And down the stairs you do go.
Okay, yeah. So I read up on this while you were moving me down. No, as with an Echo Avatar, it's literally only to scout. You can't attack. You can't like physically interact with anything.
That's cool. That's some good balance.
Yeah, that's what I figured it was too.
And down at the base of the stairs, like you see through like, so the stairs aren't solid. They're kind of those ones where there are steps, but you can see the gaps between the steps, and they're just wooden steps. And so you see behind them, there are just tons of crates there underneath the stairs, and there's another little candlelit room that is full of smaller bottles and larger bottles of wine, and some open trunks and stuff like that of full of leaves and vines, grapes. And then some other plants off to your left now that you're in this like courtyard of the vineyard. Right. And in the center of this courtyard, there's kind of a decorative little centerpiece where it's just steps that lead up to a place where a fire is being held in like a steel cage. Just kind of, a centerpiece for lighting for the whole courtyard. And
I don't see next to it.
Standing next to it, just kind of pacing around, wandering around. You know this figure, so I'm going to point it out directly to you right away. This is Kirill.
I know. I see the name. Uh-oh. What's he doing? Just pacing?
Yeah, just like walking around, thinking, just passing time perhaps. Who knows? You'd have to ask him to find out.
Well, I can see and hear through this figure. I don't think I can speak through it. So I'm not going to be able to speak through him. So I'm going to like just, stay like behind these bushes, like this wall here, this half wall, and just kind of wait here until these guys wake me up from my slumber when they finally get close to me, and I'll see if in that time he does anything or talks to anyone or awaits anyone's arrival other than us. That's what I'm assuming he's waiting for now.
Mm-hmm. And you do see like skeletons and bodies littered around this courtyard as well in the light.
Fast Lord this year is not gonna be normal.
I guess fast forwarding just a little bit, you who is it? I'll let you guys kind of decide. Who is it that taps Gabriel on the shoulder when you find him?
Rubin would probably just.
All right, let's get that. Let's get into that.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd probably feel a hand like grip on his shoulder.
I grab
tight.
your hand, and like I wake up and I turn around because it could be someone that's trying to kill me. So I just look and I see that it's you, and I release like your wrist. Stand up.
Gabriel.
Your friend Kirill is in town.
In.
I point towards the vineyard. Everyone there is dead or gone mad, I believe. Kirill is pacing in the middle. I do not think we will face much resistance.
Who is Kirill?
His blood demon or whatever he is.
Your what?
I call him blood demon because he looks like a demon and he comes from blood. I am not certain what he is. I look to Rubin for him to elaborate if he wants to.
Vova also looks to Rubin.
A servant of the Lord. I'm not entirely sure what he is either, but I would say that was an accurate description.
He serves as somewhat of a messenger, I believe, between Rubin and his order. Or at least his lord. But he is waiting for us, I believe, in town. So let us go see him. I start moving up the road.
Yeah, and Rubin's going with him. I'm going to use the arrow keys.
Oh yeah, might as well, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is Tamacti sticking behind, or is he going along too?
No, he's also sticking along for the ride. I was just busy looking around this awesome map, so it didn't happen.
Yeah, this map is fucking sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Stalery is talented AF. One thing that does happen is before you guys go, Vova and this disembodied both quietly cast a couple spells. And
while they're doing that, and like the three of us are a bit up ahead, I assume, I kind of look back. I'm like, who is the new one?
Someone from Morgang. I'm not entirely sure.
I look to Tamacti. Do you mind keeping an eye on him, Tamacti? We should be wary of everyone Morgan sends with us.
Very well.
Actually, Tamacti, this might help you. I could turn you invisible if you would like to creep around.
Just so you guys know, Vova cast on you guys, pass without a trace.
Ooh, so we got big stealth rolls. Plus 10. So if you invisible cover, you're gonna be a fucking ghost in this place if you want to go take a sniper position.
I'm going to cast invisibility on Tamacti.
Okay.
I look at Tamacti and I point up to the left of the door. There's an open window there. Watch out, there's some sort of undead creature, though it seems to have lost its mind. You can pass it without disturbing it. From there, just find a good vantage position.
You also
if anything wrong happens with Kirill, I will be expecting a bullet.
You also see that the figure from Clan Morgong goes invisible, just like phases out of existence.
I kind of look back and I don't see it anymore. I'm like, well,
yeah, Boba's just standing there alone. He's like looking around a little bit.
How scalable is this this front?
I would say
here.
I would say fairly scalable. So it's a vineyard that's been around for a very long time. It's made of like large bricks of stone, and some of them are all kind of jutting out. They're not all perfectly in place. And this place has been raided before by the Northmen. There's some damage. It had to be repaired. I'd say I'd say it's disheveled enough to be easy to climb.
I'd like to,
It's like an Assassin's
if I
Creed wall,
can, climb that little sort of balcony area that's roped off
Oh,
up above. I'd like to try and get up there if I can.
I'm gonna say that you are able to do so.
You don't want me to make a roll?
Nope.
hey, chief of dude, he's
Wow.
got this sniper position. This is like
Yeah.
Saving Private Ryan. He's on the clock tower.
Tamacti would pull out his Southern Baptist cross and rub it.
Oh shit! I will open the door then once Tamacti is gone. I kind of wave Vova over to come over.
And Vova makes his way over as well.
And
behind you
I'll
guys.
say it now, just so no one gets it twisted. I pull out my black powder rifle and load it.
Of course.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The doors open with a couple creaks, and you see the back of Kirill over there by the fire in the courtyard in front of you, maybe about 40, 50 feet.
Mhm.
Just like staring into the fire, arms crossed, tapping his foot as if he's waiting.
Yeah, I tap you on the back, Rubin. Your show.
Right. And Rubin starts in first.
I look back to Vova and I'm like, stay back just in case.
And he just checks his left and right real quick, as he's heading through this doorway to make sure nothing's about to jump him.
You make your way through the doorway. It looks like nothing was there to jump you.
Awesome.
I follow closely, Rubin.
And he begins walking towards Kirill.
Kirill's just sitting there still. Maybe he hears you approaching, maybe he doesn't. In fact, Tamacti and Rubin, please make stealth rolls that we'll be using for the remainder of you guys being here.
Do we add plus 10 to mine, or do I re-roll? Because now I'm actually like me there.
Yeah,
And I
we'll just add
would
plus
not
10
get
to yours.
advantage. I would actually get disadvantage on the roll because I'm wearing heavy armor.
I'd say then re-roll it with the plus 10.
Do I need to, even though I'm invisible?
You can still make sounds, so I'd say yeah.
Still 19 plus 29 then.
That's 16.
You roll at advantage all stealth rolls when you're invisible. By the way.
Okay.
So roll another one. There you
All right, so that's 23
23.
plus I'm invisible.
What was Gabriel's again? 19.
Yeah, so 29.
And then what was Rubin's?
20.
So 30.
Okay.
Goddamn.
Got it. Yeah, so sorry, you approach Kirill and then what?
Rubin's gonna speak up. Kirill.
And Kirill looks over his shoulder.
I've been waiting for you and your friend.
I can see that.
He looks around to his left and right at. I assume these corpses on the ground are, in a similar state as the other one outside.
Yeah, very
So
similar
fairly
state, fairly
fresh.
fresh.
Fairly fresh, half
Sold,
eaten.
Not on.
straight from my mouth.
Okay. And he returns his attention to Kirill.
What happened here?
I think that they drank too much. Must be difficult being in such a place full of so much wine.
Right. And what are you doing here?
Just admiring the scenery.
I looked to Rubin, is this something he does often, or?
And Rubens offers a shake of his head, but
Well, unless you had something to tell us, I suppose we should go look around.
Rubin, light the fire.
I just kind of look between the two of them, that's supposed to mean something, deeper than it is, or?
and he begins to sort of unchain the weapon that had been tied around him. Star Sinker, I guess.
I look at the new chain. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
What
Go on,
exactly
then.
do you mean by light the fire?
If you don't understand it now, I'm sure that you will eventually.
Well, the only fire here is already lit, and you're looking at it.
I don't think he means literally.
I figured as much, but I tire of these riddles. Anything for us, demon.
Demon. Yes. A fitting title.
Well, you look like one. I do not know what you are. If you have a better term, feel free to
Well,
share.
If you must know human, I have nothing else to share.
Very well.
I think that I saw someone somewhere. I can't remember. I've been so mesmerized by this centerpiece.
I look back at Rubin with like a look that's like, man, if you weren't friends with this thing, I would murder this fucker right here. But I keep going towards this building. Rubin, go look around.
He's looking towards the fire, like the actual fire, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Rubin's gonna kind of approach it too, and see if he sees anything in the fire, or if it's just, just a fire.
Go on.
I have. Will the weapon ignite?
What do you mean?
If Rubin like holds out his the head of this chain towards the flame, like over top of it.
It's almost as if the flame is suddenly sucked from the centerpiece, and all of a sudden the Star Sinker begins to glow like red orange ripples like up and down the chains, and like just particles racing around, like superheated particles just racing around. It doesn't feel any hotter, but the chain does look a little bit brighter.
Rubin at first goes to sort of flinch as if he's gonna get, melted by this weapon, but realizes soon that the temperature hadn't changed at all. It just, the appearance had, and looks back up to the now extinguished flame, and then back to Kirill, who is standing there.
So you did mean it literally.
Light the fire, Rubin. Sink the stars.
And his head turns up towards the sky.
He starts chucking his chain up at the sky like.
He's like, all right, if you want me to, man. I mean.
Oh, while he's doing that, I'm gonna light a torch because now it's dark as fuck in this courtyard. So I'm gonna light up a torch in my offhand.
Got it. Okay.
Start going that way.
Meanwhile, what's Tamacti doing up there? Is he just staying, keeping watch?
I'll wait here.
Yep.
Okay.
He's going to pull out and prepare. Just if necessary, he'll slot it into one of his little slots on his bandolier across his chest. The bloodletter spell, just in case.
Just in case. Okay.
Rubin's gonna turn for a moment away and approach this barrel over here.
Oh, okay.
And he's gonna swing his fighting chain out at it.
Okay.
Try and smack it with it.
What? First the water barrel, now this. Like, what do you have against barrels, man?
The fighting chain like whirls a couple times and then lashes out, whips right into it, smashes into the side of the barrel, and wine begins to pour out of it. But other than that, nothing happens.
And he looks a little surprised that nothing really happens. But
Rubin,
and he turns back over his
That's
shoulder.
not a star.
the fire is not yet lit. Do not be foolish. This barrel did not deserve what you had done to it.
And he nods once.
I suppose you're right. I will find more flames.
You will need much, much more. Remember, this is a gift from Tormark himself. You saw what it's like there.
I did.
You will need much more. But when you do, and you find all that you need, think the stars.
He nods his head once, but it's clear he doesn't quite understand what that means yet.
He turns around and saunters off.
I'll find you in Kestrel, he says.
Is there anything waiting for us in Castle?
He calls out before, but I assume just Kirill keeps walking off.
He shrugs as he's walking along and mumbles over his shoulder.
I don't know yet.
I flip him the bird invisibly as he walks away.
Or just watch. I'm looking through the basement while all this is going on.
Probably got true sight though. He probably saw
Maybe.
me all the time.
True sight only extends to a certain range. Normally you're pretty far from him.
So, which direction did Gabriel head again?
I went to your up, like in that building, to your corner on the right.
Okay, so this one over here?
Yeah. I'm down in the
Okay.
basement. So feel free to stop me, Prowler, if anything catches. But for now, I'm just sauntering around the basement looking.
Yeah, let me come find you, actually.
Oh, sorry. I'll wait.
Is this a door to my left here?
It is a door.
I'll do a little surprising move so you can find me.
Yeah, just hold there for a second, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is a door, though.
Tamacti would holster his rifle, pull out his 2 flintlock pistols, and he's gonna fling the door open and then pie it,
Yeah, so you make your way over to the battlements and lash the door open, and you find yourself...
that is not where I thought the door would be. I thought the door was the thing to the left. Or is it a double door?
No, it's not. That's a wall.
What if I light a torch just so I can see?
Yeah, by all means. Do you have a torch?
I mean, like, on the map. Just
Do you
so
have a torch?
No, I don't.
Man, that's tough.
Tough for you, man. Looks like you can't see nothing.
Okay. Tamacti's gonna slowly make his way in.
Okay.
Anything?
Do you do anything else?
I look around.
You find yourself in a small tower. There are windows that peer out to each direction. It's likely that this is one of those positions that, should there be a need to guard this facility, which there is, considering that the Northmen have raided in the past, this would be one of those towers that they would loose arrows from or use black powder rifles to fend off anyone coming from the northeast.
Okay. But nothing in the tower itself. Empty.
Nope, other than like a little ladder that goes down.
Okay. I'll peer down the ladder.
Okay, at the base of the ladder, you see the second floor of this building. The landing there, the floor is wood, just like the floor of this tower here.
Alright. I'll holster one pistol, keeping the other one in my hand. I'll sort of slowly make my way down this ladder, kind of keeping the pistol that I do have trained below me.
Okay. Then before you head down there, I am going to come back over to... So Rubin was busy talking and doing that. Gabriel was going inside the building. And so where did you go to, Gabriel?
Down in the
Down
basement
there.
of the building
Gotcha.
that Rubin is in.
Okay. You
So I was doing that while he was talking to his blood demon.
Yeah. Upon entering this building that you went into the basement of, you would find that there are barrels everywhere. There are like hops for ale. There's crates upon crates and shelves upon shelves and barrels after barrels of just wine out and about. This place is just stacked to the brim with this wine. It's everywhere. It's in pitchers. It's in cases. It's in everything. And then you make your way downstairs, and the first thing you notice is at the base of the stairs, there's a body there, just like there on the ground. Once again, the base of down here is just covered in more
I assume
and more
old wine barrel and shit.
wine
everywhere.
barrels and caskets and jars, or not jars, bottles, just everywhere.
Got it. All right, keep moving until I arrive at this sort of like threshold. It seems like there's like a caged area ahead of me. I will go inch my way inside the room.
As you make your way around the corner, you make a roll on this.
All right, come at me. I see him.
A man lashes out at you with a lengthy spear. A 5 to hit.
I catch it in my left hand. I literally just grab the shaft of this spear and I step to the side. Like, he's surprised at first, like I'm about to bash his head in, but then I stop, seeing as he's alive.
Get back! Don't hurt me!
I pull my hand away from this spear. I'm not here to hurt you. Who are you?
Who are you?
My name is Gabriel. I came here and I saw that most are dead. What happened here?
Your armor, I don't recognize it. Where are you from?
I'm from far south, the lands of Charno.
How did you get here?
On boats with Northmen. I assume you know what for, but I'm not here to kill you or steal what you have. Even I look around, not much anymore.
He gulps once his jaw starts to quiver. You're here with the Northmen?
I am, but I am not a Northman.
Oh, God save us.
I know. I feel the same way.
Please don't kill me.
I put my sword, I kind of pull my hands away from anywhere where I could reach my hilt, off to the sides.
Mm-hmm.
I am not here to kill you. I want to know what happened here.
A little rat scurries by past your feet towards the stairs leading up, and he kind of flinches and at the immediate sharp movement of it. And please get me somewhere safe. My family is in Castle. I just want to see my family again.
I nod. I can take you with us on our voyage. We are going to Castello, obviously.
Have you been there yet?
I shake my head. Not yet. This vineyard is on the way to Castello. We have to pass it. Everyone is dead. Or so it seems, except from you.
Do you have horses? Any horses at all?
I shake my head. We came here on boats. There's no room for horses.
Gods, we need to get to Castello. They need to be warned.
Of what?
And we pan away to Tamacti.
Oh God, we're about to find out what
The
they need to be warned
the
about
army of the undead
when
comes
it
back.
eats me to death.
Okay, so you said you make your way down this ladder?
Yeah, why the hell not?
That's right, why the hell not, brother?
Sometimes you just gotta do like stupid shit like jump in the mouth of a cedar. Just go for it, you know? It looks cool.
Everyone's got guys. Some
Tamacti, the moment that you get down here, with each sort of step, there's a gentle creak. I need for you, I know that we're going to be using that kind of stealth roll that you had for like all the just moving around, but I feel like this is a special instance. Can I get you to roll another one? You still have the pass without trace, but I just want to see if you beat this thing's passive perception.
That's a 17.
You do. You make your way all the way down this ladder as quietly as you can, and you turn around and you see behind you a bag with its contents strewn across the floor, empty ration packs, empty water skins, just shreds of parchment, a broken inkwell, a quill, some other stuff. And in this small room, which is coincidentally the same room that Gabriel had climbed into, there are 2 beds. One of them has a diary on top of it. There's a chest in there, a few crates against the far wall with a candle lit atop it, and you can see the silhouette of this figure just down there, sort of in the fetal position, just rocking around. Its skin missing on its left arm all the way down to the bone, and on the back of its neck on the right side, you can catch a glimpse of its like spine and the base of its skull where the flesh is missing.
Jeez,
it's like itching at itself and just rocking back and forth.
There's this door here to my sort of left.
To your left, yeah. So it's like you're at an L-shaped sort of juncture, and you can go right to encounter this thing, or you can go left to get the hell away from this thing.
I'm going to slowly make my way over to the door.
Okay.
Does it have a knob?
It does have a handle on it.
I see. Like a locking handle, like a catch?
No, just a basic handle on it to just hold the door and swing it open or closed. So it's not locked. There's no locking mechanism that you can see on this side. There might be a deadbolt on the other side, but who knows if it's locked.
Let's see. So realistically, as an owner and purveyor and enthusiast of firearms as Tamacti is, he probably cleans
and
his
as
guns.
Colbert is.
We're not talking about me right now. He probably cleans his firearms quite regularly, and thus I would make the argument that somewhere on sort of the outside of the many little fucking loops and pockets he has on his leather jerkin has a bit of gun oil.
Gun oil, okay.
Yes.
I'll accept that argument.
Okay. Well, first of all, I guess let me ask, are the hinges to this door exposed? Like, are they on my side or are they on the interior? Does this door swing outwards or inwards?
It swings inwards towards the room. So the hinges would be on the other side, right?
So I can't see them. Okay, never mind. Scratch that whole gun oil question. I will slowly try and... I'll pull my other pistol out now and slowly try and kind of push this door open.
Slowly push the door open.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. That's sick. We're going to come back to you. Rubin, what are you doing? It's all coming together right now.
First, I'd like to ask, is my Witch Hunter sign active?
So Rubin is down here in the courtyard. I would say your Witch Hunter sign is active, but it's kind of like it's at like a 2. So it's not like life-threatening, but it's not glowing through anything that you're wearing or bright enough. You would feel that it's glowing. You can feel the warmth of it on your where is it exactly again? Your neck?
Neck.
Yeah, you can feel the warmth of it on your neck. But that means that there's a danger nearby or there's evil nearby, but it's not life-threatening or... I mean, all danger is life-threatening, but not... It's something that you could possibly survive.
Okay. Having
That
seen
evil
that,
is you.
having seen that Gabriel went into this building to the left, Rubin's gonna walk through this courtyard over here to one of these unexplored buildings.
Okay. Really splitting the party right now, following the nature of the podcast.
You know, we literally always do that.
Yeah.
That's why every session we do, we advance at a snail's pace.
Am I able to see through this window at all?
You know, I would say that you are.
So do I see that through the window?
You most definitely see what you see through that window.
Okay, so
which
what
looks
is
to be
that?
a couple. There are a couple standing figures. They look like people, still dressed. There's a table there with a few ale tankards. Two of them are tipped over. Two of them are still kind of like there. There's some rotten looking food with flies buzzing around it. There's a couple fires lit in there for cooking, which have charred a chicken to ashes pretty much on top of it. There's some stocked up logs, a broom, everything that they would need to like cook in here and clean in here, and probably likely the place where everyone goes to eat is this facility here. But in that room, you can see through the window two figures dressed and missing patches of their skin, and just kind of like mindlessly standing there.
Okay, so they are quite clearly undead.
I wouldn't say that they are undead, but I would say that they look mindless.
Okay.
It's just I couldn't find like a super accurate representation of them. You're welcome to make kind of like actually based on what you see, I'd say you probably can't make a check to determine what it is.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna tap on this window here, see if I can get their attention.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
sick.
I want to see what
Damn,
they
dude's
what
playing-
they do.
Dude's playing Days Gone or something.
Okay, so you tap on the window.
Yeah,
and-
like
and
I'm just hiding around the corner, but I'm gonna like knock on the window,
one of them and the window's like barred. It's got steel kind of it's like circles with lines and more circles, very aesthetically pleasing of a vineyard. And so also something that would make it difficult for a figure to break its way through a window, which is convenient for you because as you start tapping on this window, how do you tap on it? Like what do you tap on it with? Your
Just
back
as
of your
like
gauntlet?
yeah, just like a quick knock on one of the bars, and then he's like sticking around the corner and
Yeah.
waiting to see if there's like a verbal response or something. Or
You as you like the back of your knuckles tap against it, and you hear like the ring of like a tuning fork basically that kind of like follows along and fades out. One of these figures just kind of like slowly turns its head and then like shambles, not like dragging itself or anything like that, but like walks over, stumbling, bumping up against the table, and starts like staring at the window. You said you stepped out of the way, right?
yeah, he's like hiding around on the left side.
Okay. It goes over there and just kind of, I don't know what it does. Who knows? It's just kind of like there by the window. You can hear it like standing. It walks over, and then it no longer moves next to the window.
All right, he's gonna just at that point then present himself and see if that triggers something.
All of a sudden, this creature is just frenzied, trying to get through this window. It's reaching both arms through it. It's smashing its head into the steel bars there. It's standing on top of one of these trunks, and it's like snapping its teeth. Think similar to World War Z.
Yeah,
like
I was
how
about to
those
say, like,
zombies
World War Z,
are just
yeah.
like they just want to bite you. They want to get to you. Whatever the hell's going on, these things just want to get to you, and they're willing to demolish their own bodies to do it. And so it's like reaching its arm through the grates and like swiping its arms like multiple times through the air, just snapping at the bars and trying to bite its way to you. And the other one does the same. As soon as the first one goes frenzied, the second one is just like wildly just trying to push it out of the way and get to you.
So they like threading their arms through one of these gaps or something and trying to like
Yes.
reach for Rubin.
Yes, they are.
I'd imagine then their heads are kind of like exposed.
Their heads are like right there in front of the bars.
Okay. Would you say I'd be able to jab a dagger through the bars, and
I would think so.
then I would like to jab one of them in the head with my dagger.
Make an attack roll.
An 11.
An 11 does hit, and you jab this thing right in the head, and the dagger sinks into it with like a wet sort of slicing sound or piercing sound, and the figure goes sort of limp. Its arm dangling there through the grates, and its body's like slumping backwards slowly as you draw the dagger out from its skull.
And he goes to do the same with the next one.
Okay, roll another attack then.
Alright. Attack. A 24.
24. This one, same thing kind of happens. The first one dies, and the second one just like runs towards the grate and is just trying to get through. And you look at it, it still strongly resembles a living person. Like the look in its eyes. In fact, make an insight check for me.
Okay. This is information I probably could have used a second ago.
It very strongly does not resemble an undead, but rather a person who has been driven mad, like they have rabies or something.
Gotcha. Okay.
And you sink the dagger right into its head, and it topples backwards, slumping down into the ground, knocking over one of the chairs that are against the table in this room.
Damn. Hopefully we don't kill that dude's family.
Coming away from you now.
All right.
And I do want to get back to Gabriel in a second, but first I want to finish up this business with Tamacti. So you open this door, Tamacti?
I want to. Does it swing? Is it as a man that knows a lot about doors?
Oh my fucking god.
What's the wood grain structure of this door?
Is it a right hinge door or left hinge door? Which way is it swinging open?
The hinges are on your left, because the handle is on the
Okay.
right, and the hinges are on the inside, so it
All
swings inward towards
Yep.
your left.
Gotcha. All right. So I'm not going to be able to see much by just kind of creaking the door open a little bit and peeking through.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it. Violence of action, baby.
That's right, bro.
Yep, we're
Just fucking run in
taking
there.
the offensive. We're taking the room. Swing the door open. Move in with haste.
Okay, then when you swing this door open, it busts, and you're catching these things off guard. I'm going to allow you a first action, like a surprise round kind of thing. We're not going to go into turn order because it's so simple.
How many are in here?
There's two that you can see.
Okay.
They're like on the ground, just sort of like lazily leaning about and like scratching at the floor tiredly.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, as soon as the door busts open, they both look at you, and they look very similar to that first one that you've seen.
They don't look at me because I'm invisible. They look at the doors swinging open. I would like to move in between them and like around. I don't want to do that. I changed my mind. I'm gonna shoot these fuckers. Yeah, it's demon time for sure. Tamacti would level his pistols at one at each of them, and squeeze off a couple shots. I wonder, do I get? I don't get any bonuses for being in stealth to attack rolls, do I?
I don't think
Or
so.
being invisible, rather.
I don't think so. Yeah, like you're not a rogue, so
Yeah, I didn't think so, but not yet anyway.
So yeah, you level your pistols at them.
All right.
They're kind of like stock still,
That's,
just staring at the doorway, eyes
That's
wide
a
open.
15 to the one on the right, 21 to the one on the left.
Okay, so for contrast, these creatures that you're looking at, they resemble humans, but far less than the ones that Waffle saw, where those ones were. They seemed much fresher. These ones seem like they've been in this state for some time, and they're decaying and starving and gaunt, and you can see their ribs like through their skin and stuff like that, and it's not a pretty sight. And you level your pistols with each of them and let off 2 cracks, and as those cracks ring out,
Wakes up the whole courtyard.
these 2 creatures slump onto the ground, like blood leaking from their skulls where holes were just opened up. And you hear a screech as another one from the other room.
So I still have a bonus action. So it's still my turn, if you would allow me. as I still have a bonus action. So I would actually like to step out of this room, round the corner, and then shoot that one.
Okay, yeah, I'd say you can make that roll as you step out. Man, these arrow keys make it so simple to like move around.
That one's a 12.
A 12 does not hit. You come around the corner and it comes barreling at you and smashes into you, almost like shoving you down the stairs. You might even lose balance, who knows? But it tries to bite and snap at you, and I'm gonna make a couple rolls here.
I would like to
because when you shot, you're no longer visible.
Yeah, as a reaction, I'd like to cast shield.
Okay. How much of a difference does that make? What's your AC now?
It is now 20.
20. Ooh, good save, because it rolled a 19 and a 16. And so you shoot once, miss, and immediately, like as a reaction, put up your arm to defend yourself, and an arcane sort of half bubble forms on the outside of your like forearm, and this thing just smashes its face into it. You see it like snapping its jaw twice, trying to bite you. And I'm gonna say, because it's cool flavor, make a strength saving roll. Because you're so close to these stairs, it might just topple you into them.
Son of a gun. Can I get a plus something to my roll since I'm in a doorway?
I'll give you a +2, like to hold on to the edge of the doorway.
Thank you. Strength.
See, we like to reward good thought process. Right
that would be +2 would be a 17.
Okay, you're able to stay standing upright, and this thing is just leaning into you, trying to get at you. What do you do next?
Is it still my go?
Yeah, it's your turn now. This thing already had its turn. Like, it was kind of a hybrid turn of turning it.
I'm going to what do they call it? Barrel check this this creature and fucking shoot it.
Tamacti was actually trained by the Navy SEALs.
Yeah, he's a Delta guy.
Yeah, from retention. Hey, homies, is that my briefcase? From retention, going to gonna fire like John Wick.
Okay.
That's crap.
Shit.
Not even worth saying.
You sure about that, Delta?
Oh my!
An 11 does not hit either.
That's okay. We still got the bonus.
I hear the ringer
15.
go off.
So he's like shoots, and like as this thing is still pushing up against him, he's like using his hand that's like holding up the shield to like quickly pack and load another one, and like raises it up right to this thing's head, and just a third crack, like crack, and then there's like a crack, and then crack.
You guys in the span of like 12 seconds have heard like 6 shots go off.
That must be an AR-15.
How are you popping up that third one?
So I have a feat.
Ooh. Oh yeah, never mind. I know what it is. I know
Black
what it
powder
is.
expert.
Yeah. I know what it is. Never mind. You're good. I was curious.
Yeah. Tamacti studied the gun barrel.
Okay. So you level this thing right there, and there's a flash right in your eyes. It's like a bright flash for a moment, and when your vision adjusts to it again, this thing is like toppled onto the ground on its back.
My face is like covered in blood from it exploding right in front of me.
Yeah.
Sort of shove it off me. And then quickly, methodically, going to reload both my pieces and turn around and point them down the stairs and just wait.
Okay, and as you're there and wait, I'm gonna come back over to Gabriel. Gabriel is downstairs, and this is all happening in the time. Yeah. And so you hear like all of a sudden, you say, "What happened here?" And then
bang!
Like crack.
I go immediately for like a hand on my hilt, just like on instinct.
What else is here? Are you not alone?
No, I have my allies. There's 4 of us, or 5 rather. Stay behind me. Let's go see what is going on. And I kind of like put my arm, towards him, like in a protective manner.
Yeah, he grabs one of the wine bottles off the shelf, and begins to follow you.
I give him his spear back. Yeah, you could use this.
Mm-hmm.
And I will lead him outside of the basement. And we're gonna go back up. So we heard the ringer go off. God damn, it's crazy.
But yeah, you make your way out to the courtyard. He's following tightly behind you, and Vova, who is also in the courtyard, is like looking over towards the direction of those flashes.
Vova, where?
I think it was
kind of run up behind
there.
I think Rubin too would be kind of drawn to that
Yeah,
gunfire.
so you guys run out of the buildings that you were searching, and like all of a sudden you look up there, and the flashing and thunderous cracks have stopped, and Vova is like kind of leading the way towards these
Rubin,
stairs.
go with him.
And
I will stay here with him.
Rubin does so wordlessly, only giving like a minor glance towards the random man that was not with
And
Gabriel.
I will motion the man to go back in the building. Let's go in that building. It is safe as far as we know. They can handle this.
And he follows along behind you back into the building.
And
away
I'll
from
close the door
courtyard.
behind us.
Okay.
Just so, if something does come, like, I'll at least have to open the door to get through us. And I'll stand closer to the door than he. And, I'll ask him, all right, so what did happen here?
He turns
I
to
have
you.
complete faith in my companions to handle this.
He turns to you, like backs up slowly, is back up against the crate.
Once
But
again,
it's
I
not-
put my sword back on my back to not make him feel threatened.
I'm not sure. It was just that all of a sudden they were attacking each other and snapping and biting, and it was as if they had gone ravenous.
The
And-
people of the vineyard.
Yes, and those who were bitten would all of a sudden soon be crazed of the same mindset, attacking each other. I fled down into the caverns of the basement, where we kept the wine in storage, and hid myself into a corner.
Who was the first one to start this?
I'm not sure. I was just in this building, up here, tending to the ale as it was brewing.
I see. You mentioned your family. Are they here, or are they back in the city?
They're back in the city of Castello, a day's
God.
travel away at this point.
Good. For now they are safe, or at least as far as we know. We are heading to Castello, as I've said. You will travel with us. Stay with me. The Northmen might not like you, but I do not mind. I'm not one of them, or at least not fully. Hard to explain.
You need to know something. I fear, I've been thinking of it. What could possibly have drawn this ailment? Is it a disease? Is it
Possibly.
some sort of magic? I don't know, but
Also possibility.
everyone here drinks the wine except for me. And he holds up one of the bottles.
Have you shipped any wine recently towards Castello?
A fresh shipment left just a couple days ago.
Oh, for fuck's sake. We are not going to catch it.
That's why I asked if you had
I
horses.
understand now. We do not have horses.
The camera pans away from you.
And
Back
in Castello. Where we see Left 4 Dead
back
happening.
over to Vova, who shouts up, Tamacti, I'm coming around the corner. Do not shoot me if you're there.
You're
And at
not
that
going to
point-
try and bite me, are you?
At that point, Rubin just rounds the corner. I mean,
You see Rubin and Vova down there at the base of the
Yeah,
stairs.
Rubin can tank that.
Tamacti, yeah, okay, you want to put that to the test? Tamacti raises the barrels of his guns, turns around.
If you keep rolling 11s, yeah, I'd put it to the
All
test.
right.
What happened up here?
There were 3 creatures. Tamacti would gesture to the one that he'd canoed right next to the doorway here. They appeared to have been human at one point, but no longer.
No longer.
Perhaps you can find out more with your advanced magics. I'm going to toss this room here.
This is going to disturb you. Please, if you must, then look away, but I have means of deciphering knowledge from the dead.
oh, this man's about to consume mine.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm going to toss this room, so you do what you need to do. I'll take care of my business in here. Then Tamacti would walk inside the bedroom where he dispatched the other 2 and begin looking around for books, diaries, letters, anything like that could give him a clue as to what might have occurred.
Mm-hmm. He casts Speak with the Dead.
Oh.
And begins to. Yeah, he's not gonna eat this thing.
I don't know. He was like, it may disturb you, and he just talks to the dead on.
Yeah, whenever someone says that, it's always speak with the dead. Look at him go.
And this body's like, its eyes and mouth begin to glow, and it shoots like eyes wide open, and he asks it, "What happened to you here?" and it just mutters like an incoherent word of like wheezing and gasping.
Poison.
And he asks next, "Do you know what kind of poison?" And the creature responds,
No.
to which we come over to Tamacti. Tamacti, you're in this room and you're perusing it, I assume?
Yes.
There are 2 beds, two chests, some spoiled food, some papers strewn about that have nothing written on them, and a candle in the window to your left, still lit. The room is, if I were to describe it in a single word, disheveled. It is seen better days. Perhaps the creatures that were in here were just frantically looking for something to eat and bite. Who knows? But,
How burned down to the wick is the candle?
In fact, as you pay close attention to it, to kind of look at it and squint, the wick burns out and smoke begins to rise from it.
Okay. Yeah. So I basically the room's been fucking shredded as these poor creatures tried to find something to eat.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. Well, Tamacti will do what he can to try and search through the mess for anything of possible use or value. So would you like to make me, or would you like to make me? I'm in GM mode.
I'll make a roll for you.
Yeah. Would you like me to make a roll of some kind for that?
Sorry, I would ask you to repeat what exactly you're looking for, just to double check, because I was sort of half listening for a moment. Sorry, my bad.
Because
I was responding to somebody in our Discord for the Split Party podcast. We got a new person in here. I'm not familiar with them.
Neat.
I'm
You want to give him a live shout out on the podcast?
Yo, Rich Bob Tomato, welcome to the Discord.
Welcome to the Discord, Rich Bob Tomato.
Welcome to the Discord.
And
Yo.
if any of you guys listening want to receive a similar shout out, you should join the Discord between the hours of
6
of
p.m.
6
and 10
p.m.
p.m.
to 10 p.m. on
Eastern Standard Time.
Sundays and Thursdays.
True.
Otherwise you won't get a live shout out. Anyway,
Join anytime, though.
yeah, join anytime, please, dear God. I'll look through the room for like handwritten letters, notes, diaries, as well as anything like of use or value that I might be able to find that isn't completely destroyed by these mongrels.
Handwritten notes, letters. I'd say you find. Make a perception for me.
Your thing, boss. The rolls are really not with me tonight.
Yeah, they're not.
That's
a 12.
That's a 12.
I would say everything that is sort of written on is just like slobbered on and blood all over it and torn up and stuff like that. Unreadable. And perhaps there would have been something in this room, but you don't spot it
Neat.
as you're searching around.
I turn around and look at the painting on the wall there.
Oh, yes, this painting.
What does it look like?
It appears to be a figure of a person holding up a bushel of grapes that dangle down in like rich, purplish, dark, almost black clusters for the length of like their entire forearm down to their elbow. And that's it.
Tamacti finds that painting humorous. He's going to pull out his push dagger and cut the canvas out of the frame, roll it up, and stash it in his bag for later.
Okay.
Go ahead and
Add that to your inventory.
my inventory.
Yeah.
Would you put that under loot?
Yeah, man holding grape painting. Man holding bushel of grapes painting. That's sweet. And Vova begins to pester this corpse for more information. Nothing comes of it that's valuable, and so it's clear that it was poison that did it. The figure knows that, and that it came from the wine, and that they don't know the type of poison that it was, or what specific sort of tincture or concoction it was. Try to combine two words there for a moment.
Tamacti will come out of the room. Do you, in your knowledge of the arcane arts, know of any poison that could bring on behavior like this? I mean, it seems like their bodies were deteriorating at a rapid rate. I mean, you can see this one's spine.
Vova takes a moment to think on it from all that he's read, and and everything that he has studied over at the Ravencourt Sanctuary.
I'm not a master on poisons, per se. I am not familiar with anything that would have done this. My first thought at a glance would have been that they were undead, but it appears not, and I am sorry to say that I have no information on this.
It is unfortunate, but expected. You can't be expected to know everything. Well, maybe we should check the rest of this hallway here for anything, and then head downstairs and meet Gabriel. How is he faring?
And Rubin offers up a shrug. I saw Gabriel has found a survivor.
Well, that is good. More
Yes.
than I found, to be sure.
Yes, there was a building that stood searched at two Frixur people, I suppose. Like these ones here. They are ravenous.
Interesting.
And
Tamacti's gonna head down the hallway here.
And Rubin is going to head down the stairs.
And as you step down into the base of the stairs, it's dark, right? It's Astoria.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the darkness in the sky, as if being sucked and pulled back into a specific direction, being the east by south or south by southeast, it just ripples, sucked across the sky, and vanishes in a matter of moments. You see it like just like a cloud shifting super quick across the sky, and the darkness is suddenly gone, and it is sunset in Astoria.
Save the stars, bro. Goddamn. Uh-oh.
And
This is like the reverse Skyrim like blood ending for the vampire.
that
Nah.
is where we are going to end this session.
I didn't get to warn them about the I was about to like bust the door down. I was like, the wine! I'll drink the fuck.
So that's where we're gonna end the session. That was I hope session 6s are bringing the heat. Session 6s are bringing the heat. And so that's where we're getting this session.
God damn.
Once again, shout out to Rish Bob Tomato for joining the Discord while we were
Yeah, for
recording
real.
this session. If you are not following us on Instagram or Twitter, what are you doing? Go do it. So you can subscribe to us on YouTube if that's your preferred method of listening to us. We would appreciate it greatly if you would take a moment out of your time, if you're listening to this podcast, rate us or review us on whatever platform you're listening to us on. It will go a long way to help us get the word out there. If it's something that you really like listening to and support, it would mean a lot to us. Other than that, we do have a giveaway for the Grim Hollow campaign guide, hard copy. No matter where you live, we'll ship it to you. Join our Discord to get the deets on that. And come join the Discord even just to hang out. If you don't win the book, not a big deal. We'll have more giveaways in the future, and the Discord is going to be the place that you will hear the deets on that every single time. And if you truly, truly love what you're listening to, you can't get enough of it, you want to support giveaways in the future, you want to support our funding for art, for our characters and stuff like that. Speaking of which, we got some pretty sick commissioned art from Kuda coming in the next month or so, I would assume. So stay tuned for that. But if you really, really want to support us, and that means, and you can afford it, and it's something that you really want to do, we do have a Patreon that you can find us on and support us there. We love everyone listening to this right now. And as always, never split the party. Thanks for being here, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.
See ya.